Hello, welcome back. Today I've got a very special episode for you guys. Kill Bill. Not just Kill Bill 1 and Kill Bill 2 I'm going to combine into one because it is still all one story. It's a 2003 action movie directed by Quentin Tarantino. Tarantino is one of the most popular directors probably ever because he did Kill Bill, Pulp Fiction, Django Unchained, Inglourious Bastards, to name a few. He has done a bunch. People say he's so good, he's so amazing. Well, let's see, shall we? We all know Pulp Fiction is amazing. It's a classic. Kill Bill is also a classic, but I haven't seen it, so I watched it, and it's a classic, starring many people, but the main ones I can think of is Uma Thurman. She's A-list as well. She also did Pulp Fiction. Crazy coincidence that those two movies were good, huh? And she was also Poison Ivy in Batman, but she's also been in a bajillion movies. Same with Lucy Liu, A-list actress, bajillion movies, and she voiced Viper in Kung Fu Panda. Very nice. Even though this is a classic, I will give a spoiler warning that this review does reveal parts of the story that may be important. For example, Uma Thurman does a backflip, kicks a guy in the nuts, and chops his head off. I don't even know if that happens, but let's say that happens. I don't want you to be like, oh my god, movie's unwatchable. I'm warning you now. Skip to this part if you just want to hear my thoughts. I'm going to try chat into chapters, but this time span on screen, this little time thing, skip to that if you don't want to hear the spoilers. I'm going to make sure there's like a gap. Anyway, so the movies themselves, let's get into it. They are separated into part 1 and part 2, Kill Bill part 1, Kill Bill part 2. There's no part 3 because this isn't a trilogy. The whole movie is start to finish, it's done. And in the movies, they're separated into chapters. So let's say there are 10 chapters. Part 1 has chapter 1 to 5, and part 2 has chapter 5 to 10, or 5 to 9, and then final, I think. Anyway. Chapter 1 is Black Mamba fighting an old co-worker. I think her name is Copperhead. I'm so sorry if her name is something completely different. Chapter 2 is catching us up on what actually happened before this. So this is present tense, and chapter 2 is like a backstory. It's like a flashback. Black Mamba, an assassin, got ambushed by her fellow assassins in the Deadly Vipers team of assassins / gang / corporation, and in this attack she lost her newlywed husband and her unborn baby because she was pregnant, and this attack is why she's plotting her revenge. I can't believe my co-workers did this. I know I stole their lunch on Mondays, but this is a bit much. Chapter 3 is an animated backstory of Coppermouth, which is kind of out of left field. I had no clue that this was coming. I thought this was all live action, but there's an animated section. Chapter 4 is her getting a sword from this sword maker. Chapter 5 is her infiltrating a Japanese club and killing a bajillion and a half henchmen, and then killing Copperhead, which is Lucy Liu. And then to end off part 1, we get a cliffhanger. Part 1 done. Part 2 starts off with a catch-up on part 1. She's like driving, and I think there's like narration or something. Chapter 6 starts with a flashback of Bill. So we finally meet Bill in the second movie. So this is the guy we want to kill, right? So it turns out he's the boss. He's much older than I thought. He's a fucking grandpa. We also see the moments before the shooting commenced and what started everything, and Bill and Black Mamba have some kind of connection, like a special connection. Chapter 7 is Black Mamba going after a bouncer, but he shoots her in the fucking chest with a shotgun and she gets buried alive. Lovely. Chapter 8, she's in the ground now, and she gets flashbacks of her training with the least generic kung fu master you've ever seen, and then she uses what she learned to escape her grave, right? Chapter 9, Eye Patch, I'm going to call her Eye Patch, comes out to collect Black Mamba's sword because they think she's dead, kills the bouncer guy, and we now know what Black Mamba's name is. I'm not sure if I should give it away. It's not really important, but block your ears for a second if you don't want to hear it. Her name is Beatrix, and Bill calls her Kiddo. Anyway, Black Mamba and Eye Patch have a fight. Black Mamba defeats Eye Patch and takes her other eye, which is actually kind of fucked up for her to do. She only has one eye now. What? She already only had one eye. Now she has 0 eyes, you fucking bitch. What the hell? And the last chapter to finish out the whole movie is the showdown between Black Mamba and Bill. The title coming down into the last bits. Black Mamba finds a friend of Bill who reveals his location. Black Mamba finds Bill. Plot twist. Mega spoiler. Her daughter is alive and well. Bill has been taking care of her. It's also their daughter. It's Bill banged the shit out of Black Mamba. Out pops this daughter. Anyway, not enough time to reflect on that. They have this cute moment with the girl before Bill fucking battles her. Then they have this massive battle. It's not even like a hot battle between like two girls. It's just a battle between her and Bill. She kills Bill. No pun intended on that. And she walks away. End of the story. Happily ever after. She got revenge. And that's that. So this massive story split into 2 movies is amazing. It's riveting. Here is a list of some of my favorite moments. The first action scene is mere minutes into the first movie. I don't know if it's the first minute or if it's the first 2 minutes, but it really throws us right in and grabs our attention right away. They are animated sequences, and they are beautiful and still animated with care. It's not like they just threw in like slideshows. It's actually animated nicely. Shooting in black and white is difficult. I don't know if I mentioned a few times in the channel, but it's still difficult. It hasn't changed at all. Shoot black and white is hard. Chapter 5 is a massive fight sequence spanning multiple locations, shooting styles, color schemes, probably the best action scene I've ever seen. Just when you thought, okay, it's over, right? No, they switch it up and it's fresh again. This is the only movie I've seen that uses its extremely long runtime to proper use. Let's say, like the recent Avatar movie that came out. It's way too long and it's so fucking boring. But this thing, every moment has a purpose in the story, and the story is amazing. But not only is there a lot of story, but every chapter is good. Every time something cool happens, it's really amazing. Now there's this huge action sequences, there's flashbacks, there's animated stuff. There's so much amazing stuff here. But not without its faults. Nothing is perfect. I must say, two things. The showerhead blood and her killing Bill at the end. Those 2 specific things. When an arm gets chopped off in this movie, there's this huge stream of blood like a showerhead that shoots out blood from the decapitated arm or whatever. Obviously, this is an old technique and it's insane and it looks stupid. And it kind of reminds me of those old kung fu movies where they just sprayed blood out of like a chopped arm or something. That looks ridiculous. And then right at the end with Bill, Black Mamba does this like death punch that she learned from her master. And this punch works like, okay, I've set this up. If you take 3 steps, you're dead. You have 3 steps until you die. So before he takes those steps, he gives this speech and he walks away and falls over because now 3 steps are up and he dies. It's a little goofy because, okay, I understand 3 steps. It's going to kill you in like 15 seconds. You only have time to reach like 3 or so steps and then you're dead. But Bill just kind of stood there and it's literally 3 steps, and that's obviously impossible and ridiculous. But that doesn't matter because I'm giving this movie a 10 out of 10. So, not to like hype it up or anything, but this is the first and so far the only 10 out of 10 I've ever given. This movie starts off with a bang. It keeps the momentum going all the way through. What keeps it fresh, which is really cool, is the flashbacks breaking up what might be considered to be a linear story, but even then there's so much variety. You can't look away because suddenly there's this and then that and that, and every part is good. A flashback serves to help the story. It merges nicely with what happens. It's really good. So despite the showerhead blood and the death scene of Bill, I still give this a 10. It's the first 10 of the channel. I'd like to congratulate Kill Bill for this prestigious award of first 10 out of 10. I'm going to be making a playlist of it. This is the best movie I've seen so far on this channel. Best movie. Yeah, this is my top film so far, and truly deserved, because damn, it is so good. It's really good. Everyone give a round of applause to Kill Bill. I think it's such a funny coincidence that Quentin Tarantino is known for like the best movies ever. So Kill Bill is so good, and I know Pulp Fiction is good because I've seen that before, luckily. And Uma Thurman is also in that movie. So it's like, is it Quentin Tarantino or is it Uma Thurman? But then I look at Uma Thurman's movie list, and some of them aren't amazing. Like, not everything is a banger, you know. And then you go look at Quentin Tarantino, and a lot of them are good. But then some of them I haven't heard of, and it's like, okay, what's the secret sauce here? What is the actual, how do we get guaranteed all good movies? Because Quentin Tarantino sometimes makes flops. It can't be perfect. And Uma Thurman, if she gets a part that isn't amazing, she can't save the movie. It's impossible. Hope you guys enjoyed this one. Go watch Kill Bill. It's pretty cool. Cult classic. And yeah, I will see you in the next one. Goodbye.